On Adoa Television. My name is Nafa Alikwaku. Thanks so much for choosing us into your homes tonight. Coming up in this bulletin, earlier today, lead opposition party National Democratic Congress, NDC, has added their voice to that of the family of the late social media activist Ibrahim Mohammed, best known as Kaka, that the Justice Kumsin's committee report is flawed. Again, we'll be looking at some section of Ghanaians and what they are making of government's decision to purchase a new and big presidential jet. According to the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, cyber attack has emerged as a global threat to financial stability. Finally, in sports, former Black Star player Daniel Owusu have said he has regretted ever playing for the national team. Why he said this, will bring you details shortly. The news is proudly brought to you by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware Yaksen Herbal and Sonotech Diagnostic and Medical Center. Sonotech is giving you 50% and 20% discount on mammograms and breast ultrasound. It's October and do well to get your breast screened. To our very first story, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has described the Justice Kumsin's committee report as flawed and full of faulty findings. National Communications Officer Samuel Jimfi, speaking at the presser earlier today at the party's head office in Accra, stated explicitly that the NDC demands an immediate dismissal of the Ashanti Regional Minister and the demotion of the Ijura District Police Commander.
The National Democratic Congress has described the Justice Kumsin's committee report as flawed and full of faulty findings. The report of the three-member ministerial committee that investigated the disturbances at Ijura in the Ashanti region has been published by the government. Among other things, the committee recommends the removal of the MCE for the area, who had already pulled out the race for a new MCE, and compensation for the affected families and victims. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, earlier in July 2021, directed the Interior Ministry to conduct a public inquiry following the killing of 2 persons and injuries to 4 others by soldiers during a protest against the killing of a social activist, Ibrahim Mohammed Kaka. Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka Macho. Kaka died on Monday, June 28, 2021, after he was attacked by an unknown assailant while returning home from an event he attended in the area. Earlier reports suggested that Kaka was killed because of his social activism, which some persons felt was making the government unpopular. But police reports suggest otherwise after 3 people, including his brother, were arrested and put before the court over the killing. However, the NDC is of the view that the report of the Justice Kumsin Committee is flawed and full of faulty findings.
We have taken note of the findings and recommendations contained in the 55-page report of the 3-member Ministerial Committee of Inquiry, which was set up to investigate the circumstances that led to the disturbances, shootings, injuries, and death of some persons in Ijura in the Ashanti region on the 29th of June 2021. After an objective and painstaking examination of the report, we take the view that the committee's report is a poor attempt at cover-up. The report is full of faulty findings, flawed conclusions, and deficient recommendations, calculated to shield from accountability the murderers of a social activist, Ibrahim Mohammed, aka Macho Kaka, and the perpetrators of the subsequent state-sponsored killings in Ijura by the military.
The NDC, again responding to the committee's report, demands an immediate removal of the Ashanti Regional Minister and removal or demotion of the Ijura District Police Commander.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is equally reprehensible and unacceptable that the committee did not recommend any sanctions for the political and top military actors who deployed these soldiers in the first place. This is because per the committee's own finding, the deployment of the soldiers to Edra was premature and needless. The committee, the Kumsin Committee, in their report, affirms our position that soldiers should have been called upon to quell the justified and legitimate agitation of the Edra youth as a last resort. Yet, they were called in by the irresponsible and reckless and useless Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah, the commanding officer of the 4th Infantry Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Kwesi Wari-Prepra, and the General Officer commanding Central Command Kumasi, Brigadier General Joseph Apo, as a first resort. And so, having established that the deployment of soldiers to Edra was improper, one would have expected the Kumsin Committee to have recommended sanctions for those responsible for that wrongful deployment. But no such recommendation was made in their report. If this does not speak to a certain ground coalition to cover up the heinous crimes of these actual masterminds of the unjustified Edra killings, then we do not know what else does. We in the NDC hold the view that the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah, who without any due diligence or verifiable intelligence deployed soldiers to Edra and gave them orders to do what they did, which he appeared before the committee to defend, ably supported by the 4th Infantry Battalion Commander and the General Officer commanding Central Command Kumasi, must be dismissed from their positions for the poor judgment they exercised on the matter, which led to the loss of precious lives and several injuries. The soldiers on the ground were only following the orders of these people, these real masterminds. Also, the committee's recommendation for the transfer of the Edra District Police Commander, DSP Philip Kojo Hammond, whose reckless conduct provoked the Edra disturbances and triggered the shootings and killings of 29 June 2021, is insufficient and I should say ridiculous, to say the least. In fact, that recommendation is an insult to the sensibilities of the affected people and their families. Transferring a police officer to another station in the same capacity and rank can never be considered as disciplinary action. Friends from the media, how on earth can a mere administrative transfer, which have been touted as a routine exercise by the security agencies in time past, be recommended as punishment for a senior police officer whose unprofessional and reckless conduct has caused the death of 2 Ghanaians and injuries to many? Again, we in the NDC hold the view that the committee should have recommended a more punitive and deterrent sanction, such as the demotion or even dismissal of the Edra District Police Commander.
Away from that, Member of Parliament for Ifutu, Alexander Kwamina Afenyo-Markin, has affirmed the readiness of Winneba to host the extraordinary session of ECOWAS that is expected to commence from 12th to 22nd of October 2021. The Deputy Majority Leader, who addressed the Parliamentary Press Corps this afternoon, reiterated their commitment and preparedness towards hosting the 110 members of Parliament and 15 state members of ECOWAS.
Between 27th of July and 31st of July, Winneba hosted ECOWAS delocalized meeting, the ECOWAS Parliament delocalized meeting, and it was very successful. Mr. Speaker, in his wisdom, again gave Winneba the opportunity to hold the extraordinary session this October, and it's taking place between the 12th of October and the 22nd of October. I want to assure every Ghanaian that Winneba is ready to host the sub-region. We have made sufficient preparations in terms of infrastructure and logistics. Government of Ghana has provided the needed support. And in fact, some corporate institutions in Ghana have given firm assurance of their support for the upcoming event. In all the 15 member states will participate, save that Guinea is temporary on the ice. It's not participating. Guinea has been suspended. So we do not expect the Guinea delegation to be in Winneba. We are expecting, therefore, about 110 members of parliament in the sub-regional parliament to congregate in Winneba for the 10-day period. All the speakers, Mr. Speaker himself and the deputy speakers will be present. There will be resource persons, experts would be there to take us through aspects of the program. And accommodation-wise, we have made sufficient arrangements. In fact, some hotels that needed to upgrade their facilities have upgraded their facilities. The ECOWAS protocol recce team was in Winneba last week, and they were satisfied with the facilities so far. The University of Education Winneba auditorium would be the venue for the main event, the Jofus Anamwa Mensa auditorium. It has the state-of-the-art facilities and is going to be the main venue. Windy Lodge conference room will also be on standby to provide the base for other consultative meeting, discussions and seminar and all that will take place.
So because I penny or money in
Meanwhile, one topic that has had a yes response from the minority in Parliament, NDC, and the majority of the public are the issues of procurement of a bigger presidential jet, as according to the Director of Communications at the Office of the Presidency, Mr. Eugene Ayin, has become very necessary. There is more in the following report.
So because I penny or money in a shenansa, it's a year, and so made a magic training. Why? Oh, Yameba Shayan. Yameba Shaw, no, dear bass, I see so no one be put to why? And see, me there, me madren and car, Mamma and top. No, because so too quiet, I saw Cono Bantam. So I make crank a metal. Why, it's no nya.
The constant dilemma of whether or not Ghana should procure a bigger private jet to accommodate the president and his entourage while traveling has become a roller coaster conversation for months. Recently, Minister for Defense, Mr. Dominic Nitiwu, has been handling the process in relation to buying a bigger and new presidential jet. The minister has made it clear that government has decided to buy a bigger jet to save costs. Meanwhile, Director of Communications at the Presidency, Mr. Eugene Ayin, also prior to that, had given a hint at a press briefing at the Jubilee House on Monday, September 27, 2021, that the move to get a bigger fit-for-purpose aircraft was part of cost-saving measures on the travels of the president and other state key functionaries.
In 2008, it had procured 2 jets, the current Falcon, and then a bigger Embraer, if I'm not mistaken. And for one reason or another, the bigger jet was cancelled, and we were left with this particular one here. I don't know what I mean. Obviously, it would have made much more economic sense to keep the bigger one, because obviously when that happens, when you're traveling with your delegation, and as you know, you don't have to send media people ahead of time. All of you can just go at a go, saves cost and everything. But well, it has happened, and you collect that the Minister for Defense has made it clear that government has decided to buy a bigger jet to save us from all these troubles. I wouldn't want to go into details. I'm sure when the Minister for Defense has the opportunity to give further information as to what government is doing with respect to that, I'm sure he'll do that. But I know for a fact that, yes, as he has rightly indicated, government is already in the process of acquiring a bigger jet.
However, Communications Officer for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Sami Jenfi, on Saturday, 2nd October 2021, reacted to the MPP government's decision to buy a new presidential jet, saying the Akufo-Addo-led government's decision to acquire a presidential jet at this time is a case of misplaced priority. Mr. Jenfi stressed that government being aware of the woes of citizens who are managing to cope in a post-COVID-19 Ghana and still pursuing a quest to buy a presidential jet is unacceptable. Again, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Chief Nikes Benu, on Tuesday, 3rd October, has also said that President Akufo-Addo and his government's decision to purchase a new presidential jet is curious, most especially when the country is trying to navigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, and he even entertaining the idea to buy a new presidential jet is inconsistent. Speaking to Adoatv on this topic, some Ghanaians found the decision rather disturbing, and they claim the hardship in the country is unbearable for President Akufo-Addo and his government to even conceive the idea of purchasing a new, bigger presidential jet.
Because already you will be that. Na say you will be na say o san the ska fufura san koto bioma. Then na just say o boy double. Because already there's rumor say who could hire private jet dware wo ni nema aye wo plane bi wo ho no. I mean o san koto bioma na say e cabo so buy say we Ghana foka and I said yeah ni musu bi say ye nu ye ho papa seriously.
Oh, me who say on top because I want to know my name do. And I'm over and so me who say it's capable no the better and I'm a so there are many projects for how I was all the and no who here pa what I say. So jet need there for so be any so. But just no so say bia you fair baby and actually bia what me come back test see. Oh no be enjoy and I'm a so come for the whole country in the chinko. Enjoy no go and enjoy what jet ni what I say. So no me who say no da no ya there like a bit favor no ko and favor Ghana for what I say. So me who say a good idea cry one bit.
Mrantie ne maba wanya ndwumaya omanya yenya independence say 64 years ni na enkulade wo mu yefuto for ene tro o school dem so omanya yetimo a.
Let's take a look at the Ghana card and issues arising. Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Ken Atafoa, has lamented on the fact that passports for SIM registrations cannot be reliable as Ghana card, and that the Ghana card is far superior index for our identity.
The Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Ken Atafoa, has said passport lacks the credibility Ghana card offers. This comes after amid complaints and questions as to why passports are not being allowed for identification in the ongoing SIM re-registration exercise. Professor Ken Atafua, speaking in an interview, said the Ghana card is a far superior index of your identity. A passport is a primary document for establishing your citizenship and eligibility to travel across borders. But even so, you see visa requirements. There is a limit, he said. He again said, the Ghana card registration process gives evidence of why passports could not fully be trusted. During the mass registration, there were people who went to registration centers with Ghana passports but were denied the right to register because upon interrogation, it was found that they were not Ghanaians. It can be found to be procured through improper means and you cannot rely on it, the NIA boss added. Apart from this, Professor Atafua also made it clear that, as a requirement of law, wherever identification is to be established, a Ghana card shall be required. The complaints about the non-acceptance of reports are also because many Ghanaians are yet to receive their Ghana cards. The authority has noted that later in October, its regional offices will open to allow Ghanaians who have registered receive their print cards. The authority says over 84% of Ghanaians aged 15 and above, that is about 15 million people registered for the Ghana card. The re-registration of mobile SIM cards is expected to last for 6 months, ending on March 31, 2022. The exercise is in accordance with the Subscriber Identity Model Registration Regulations 2011 LI 2006 to prevent SIM boxing and other criminal activities. Any SIM which is not registered at the end of this exercise will be blocked.
In education, the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, has expressed fears that tertiary education institutions in the country may soon demand that prospective students write entrance exams before they are admitted. This, according to him, is a consequence for engaging in examination malpractices.
The president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, has expressed fears that tertiary education institutions in Ghana may soon demand that candidates will write entrance exams before they are admitted to school. According to him, this will be the consequence of the worsening incidents of examination question leakages that have characterized the West African Examination Council's examinations, including the West Africa Senior High School Certificate Exams (WASE) and the Basic Education Certificate Exams (BECE). Speaking in an interview, he said examination leakages is getting more systemized and complicated, and the examination management body appears to be unimpeded in dealing with it decisively. He said the phenomenon has lessened the value of WAEC certificates, hence his fears that the various tertiary institution councils may at some point decide that only students who pass entrance exams will be granted admission. These leakages put the integrity and sanctity of certifications in question. When the universities in Ghana begin to question the validity and sanctity of our exam, I will not be surprised that in the near future, the various councils of the universities will take a decision where students write entrance exam before they get into the universities, he said. Mr. Kabonu suggested that WAECs there in dealing with the situation may be as a result of the sophistication with which the perpetrators of exam question leakages operate with the aid of technology. How come that WAEC is being found incapable of finding a solution to this? Maybe WAEC systems are so weak to the extent that it's unable to identify the problem and solve the problem, taking into account the fact that there is a sophisticated technology operating outside WAEC, he added. WAEC has come under serious criticism for the past 4 years over the leakage of its exam questions. Ahead of the writing day, some groups such as the Africa Education Watch have taken on WAEC over the situation and leveled blame on them for doing very little to tackle the situation. But WAEC has often downplayed such accusations. Recently, it was forced to reschedule the physics and business management papers over the leakage of the question papers in
Let's do some other stories. And the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, has tasked officials of the three main agencies of the ministry in the northern region to ensure an end to encroachment on forest reserves and public lands in the region. They stated this during a meeting with the sector officials at the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, among others ascertaining their welfare issues and addressing them.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, addressing the staff from the Office of Administrator of Stool Lands, Forestry Lands and Minerals Commissions, appealing to them to work together with the Regional Minister and the Coordinating Council to bring an end to these menaces at its preliminary stage before escalating into a national problem like that of the small-scale illegal mining. According to him, the matter to do with the encroachment of forest reserves in Tamale is a matter to be dealt with forcefully. He said, "We are told, and it's very evident, that the forest reserves in the Tamale metropolis are being encroached upon, which we cannot permit." The minister further stated that soon the Regional Security Council is going to map out strategies to clear all encroachers along the forest reserve to ensure the sustainability of Tamale. Honorable Jinapo says the operations of the Northern Regional Agencies is very crucial for the corporate win of the entire Northern sector. He also added, as the parent region out of which the three new regions were birthed, their functions and operations can and will have great implications on the output of work. The minister stated Tamale is turning into the center of commerce for North Africa, and as a result, there is the need to preserve the public lands of Tamale and the northern region at large. As part of these interventions, the minister disclosed that in the coming month, government will launch the Share Plantation Scheme, which will ensure the injection of some huge capital into the forestry sector, assuring them of interventions underway to ensure the welfare issues of the agencies are ironed out.
And President Akufo-Addo has assured that new plant company will be absorbed by the initiative of the One District, One Factory initiative. This was brought up after the Member of Parliament for Bantama, Honorable Francis Asenso-Boakye, and Director of New Plant Ghana, Mr. Georges Massa, called on government to save the company from collapsing by adding it to the One District, One Factory initiative.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, says his government has taken the decision to add Neoplant Ghana Limited into the One District, One Factory initiative in order to help revive the company, which has been on the decline for some time now. This follows a request made to the President by the Member of Parliament for Bantama, Honorable Francis Asenso-Boakye, and the Managing Director of Neoplant Ghana, Mr. George Nasa, for an intervention by government to save the company from approaching its collapse. Neoplant Ghana Limited was established in 1974 under the Kutua Champon regime as a joint venture company between the Government of Ghana and Glotlop Awata to produce buses for Ghana's public transport fleet. Indeed, the company became the first bus manufacturing plant in West Africa. It will be recalled that on the assumption of office of the NPP government in 2001, Neoplant Ghana was contracted to build 450 buses for the Metro Mass Transport fleet. This contract was for a tenure of 8 years, ending in July 2010. Since then, the company has not been able to secure any such government contracts, and with the inability of the company to secure orders from private sector, its operations have been limited to bus repairs and maintenance service, which have led to losses. Responding to a direct request from Managing Director of Neoplant for the Metro Mass Transit Limited, President Akufo-Addo says measures are being put in place for the company. The Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Alan Shinmantain, has stated that Neoplant Ghana has been a household name since the 70s and the President will revive it. He stressed that the agenda that has been pursued by President Akufo-Addo since he came into office in 2017 has been to move Ghana away from being a mere producer and exporter of raw materials to a value-added industrialized economy, which is surest means of creating the necessary number of jobs for the masses. According to the minister, his sector was responsible for the production and distribution of the 450 buses for the use by the Metro Mass Transit Limited, which are still very much in use, and says adding the company to the One District, One Factory initiative will create jobs for the youth.
Teachers have played significant roles in our lives. Today we say Happy Teachers Day to all teachers across Ghana. Now, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, of the Accra Metro West District, Jawulu, local held its Teachers Day celebration today at the Bethany Methodist Church, Jawulu, a suburb of Accra. This year's celebration differs as teachers were briefed extensively on the code of conduct of the Ghana Education Service. So we have more in the following report.
October 5th has been set aside to celebrate, congratulate, and encourage teachers around the globe for the good work they do by impacting knowledge into young ones. The anniversary dates back to 1966, where UNESCO made several recommendations on the status of teachers, which includes teachers from pre-primary to the SHS, both government and private sectors. Also during the anniversary, the initial duration of training of teachers, how they are being trained, their recruitment, supervision, assessment, responsibilities, rights, among others, were all touched on. However, this year's celebration was focused on the support teachers need to fully contribute to the recovery process after COVID-19. Indoor fun activities was equally inculcated to brighten the smile of teachers who were able to be a part of this year's Teachers' Day celebration. NAT's chairman for Jawulu Local, Mr. Ransford Nanado Asari, disclosed the problems teachers encountered during the lockdown and called on government to provide them with teaching and learning logistics.
We recommend that government should make teaching and learning resources available to enhance effective teaching and learning in the various classrooms. Then union is also charging the directorate, and I'm happy HR is here to work hand in hand with headquarters and controller to place teachers who were recently promoted to their respective ranks. I hope this message will be carried to director.
Human Resource Manager for Ayawa Sowes Wagon, Madame Doris Owusu, also delivered her speech on the GES Code of Conduct and advised teachers on how to cope with all the students.
Let's be careful, and let's remember that one day we will also be in that same seat. But apart from that, our Code of Conduct says we should go to school at the right time and leave at the right time. I will summarize most of them. And leave at the right time. And when we go, remember we went to school to teach. So you went at the right time. These days we don't go for assembly, but assembly time, you'll be in your classroom. Break time, you'll be in your classroom. You don't care. Whatever happens, you don't care. Extra curriculum, you don't care. You won't do it. And some teachers are bold enough to tell their head, I won't do it. But
some insurance guests who were present at the celebration also gave teachers guidelines on insurance and its beneficials.
I learned some of you are already on. In fact, most of you are already on. And it has become a necessity. And so we should always come over and over and over to encourage those who are yet to sign on. Every year, your contribution goes up by 10%. So is the claim. There is a corresponding increase in your benefit too.
Before 2008, SNET was the only company managing our pensions. So our contributions were going to SNET, so that when you go on retirement, SNET will give you monthly salaries and also give you a lump sum. With the tier 2, we are just limited to 5% of our basic salaries that we contribute into the tier 2, just 5% of our basic salary that goes into the tier 2. But with this tier 3, because it's a voluntary scheme, there are fluctuations. You can choose to do any percentage that you want. The law is actually saying that you have a maximum of 16.5% of your basic salary to contribute into the tier 3. So it means that you can decide that, okay, I'll do just 5%, or I can contribute 7%, or I can contribute 10%, or I can do 12%, or I'll take full advantage of the maximum, which is the 16.5%.
The news is proudly brought to you by Verna Mineral Water, Blue City Ties and Accessories, Jackson Herbal, CB Herbal, Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, and Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center. We'll be back with some business news. Do stay.
You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I am Priscilla Sewamenu, Miss Health Ghana 2020. The month October is noted for breast cancer awareness, and this October, Sonotech Ghana is partnering with Miss Health Ghana to bring you breast cancer awareness campaign dubbed Pink It Out. So from the 1st to 31st October, Sonotech Ghana is offering free breast screening for all women out there. Plus, you get 20% off mammogram and 50% off ultrasound scan if you need one at any of their branches. The campaign is on. Join the campaign, support women, encourage women to come for screening, and support women living with breast cancer. On this note, I will entreat all my sisters out there to come detect it, treat it, and defeat it, because early detection saves life. Thank you.
Yeah, CB will make up now. I'm correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. You want oh, middle. You captures back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules and make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew the data. And one year packaging I had.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako don't pay it.
Share a painful, any about town mount I don't know for. Any whatever you and come home.
Susanna, Ghana man, Tamasi.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA Adjedin Katoyat.
Blue City is a manufacturing supply of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African print and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Back, thanks so much for staying with us throughout. Let's do some business news. Cocoa Board from October 2022 will begin the issuance of electronic cash to farmers for all cocoa purchases. The cocoa management system, according to Cocoa Board, will host the register for all cocoa farmers in the country by beginning of 2022 and will have information on farm owners, location of the farm size, and household information. The CMS, upon full rollout and implementation, will issue a unique identity card to every farmer for any cocoa transaction with Cocoa Board, affirming that without the ID, the farmer cannot sell the cocoa.
The cocoa management system, according to Cocoa Board, would host the register of all cocoa farmers in the country by the beginning of 2022 and would have information on farm owners, location of the farm, the size of the farm, and household information. The cocoa management system, upon full rollout and implementation, would issue a unique identity card for every farmer for any cocoa transactions with Cocoa Board, affirming that without the ID, a farmer cannot sell cocoa. The system will also have information on farm owners, location of farm, size of the farm, and household information, and will track incidents of child and forced labor in Ghana's cocoa sector. Other reasons for the Cocoa Management System initiative are to track the progress of children who lived in cocoa communities, a number, age profile, and their educational profile, and to ensure the cocoa is produced in a sustainable manner. Cocoa Board, however, maintains that the cocoa management system would ensure that cocoa is produced in an environmental approved area without land degradation to meet major concerns of international community, thereby addressing the issue of environmental protection, forest degradation, and child forced labor.
Elsewhere, the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku Afari, has said cyber attacks on information and communication technology systems have emerged as a global threat to financial stability and a way of life. He said successful cyber attacks on computer systems and networks supporting critical national assets and infrastructure could cause significant havoc in the way of life, cause financial loss, undermine public confidence, and cause major disruption in the local economy.
Regulatory compliance by itself is not cybersecurity. The onus lies on banks to examine the state of their security systems, identify gaps, and design appropriate mechanisms to counter possible cyber threats. In addition to these cybersecurity regulations, financial institutions will also be required to implement an integrated approach by adopting enterprise-wide frameworks of cybersecurity management in line with their businesses. Today's world is completely different from a decade ago, as changes in information and communication technology increase exponentially. As a result, it is important for institutions to undertake cybersecurity-related due diligence and assessments, identify proper detective controls, and enforce third-party and insider risk programs to protect, safeguard their working environments from cyber-related activities that are not conducive for growth.
And mineral water, the only way to stay hydrated. Blue City Ties and accessories, Yaxen Herbal, CB Herbal, Asatec Roofing Sheet, and Cookware, Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center. I'll be back with some sports news.
John, what's in you? Wow, Eddie, what boy, Juma? I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatec. Oh, now Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice. Why the catch you? Asatec roofing sheet, dear, and your nice keke with the bodan swa a chee and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair be bray. No free roofing sheet, no dear. Who hear that will be out? Now, so the bodan swa a hero supampe. What means to trauma send your open roofing sheet? You tell the summer of pepe. Mama poor Asatec money there. One of my technical advice now estimate free or professional installation so I want your on-site installation. Oh yes, quality and new that feminine. Asatec 5 days pay now we can order. Now a year after sales service proper being so. Shushe Asatec Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, a Cocoa Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatec Watakra de Anaji, Yeni Princeland Hotel, and Edition, and a Volta Region, Yawo Akachi South District Assembly Quinosuha.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Wow, October is here already, and it's time for the world to go pink and pay attention to the chest of a woman. My name is Rebecca Donko, the founder of Makeup Ghana and the president of College of Beauty, Art and Entrepreneurship. And I'm excited about being the campaign ambassador for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an initiative by Sonotech Medical Center. And I consider this initiative a very important CSR, and I'm glad to be associated with an intervention which seeks to give hope and save lives. Awareness surrounding breast cancer is very important as it provides information on early detection and management. And these timely information can save lives. Know that breast cancer is treatable and manageable. So the whole of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get screened at any of the 3 branches of Sonotech Medical Center, either the Osu branch, the Tema, or the West Hills Mall, with 50% discounts on breast ultrasound and 20% on mammogram. And remember that breast cancer awareness is important, but so is breast health awareness. So let us all endeavor to play our part in giving hope and saving lives. Thank you and stay blessed.
Water, but you're not getting your mouth. And that's all I'm about fire.
Malaria and tea. Abba, you are yet more bono.
Which you have defeated.
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo, I shouldn't customers. Well, when I say, Mammy, I am smart. Abba, CB Malakio. I'm man the buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market any malaria and tea. I want to mean. And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria testing. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB Malakio. You do not. And now I can't bomb a son so I CB Malakio. And no way so there. And I don't grow. I yet tap shit.
A drawing your ma appeal for about a woman for any quada one in fear.
Susiana, what would you win?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you mu adia to Musa and
Hello there, welcome back. Thanks for joining the sports segment. 27 players have opened camp on Tuesday morning to begin preparation for this month's Match Day 3 and Match Day 4 of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 qualifiers against Zimbabwe. The Black Stars of Ghana will lose some key players such as Mubarak Wakaso, Emmanuel Jesse, and 3 other stars will also be missing from Ghana's first leg against Zimbabwe at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium.
The Ghana Football Association announced that the Black Stars of Ghana will be traveling to Cape Coast without some key players in their first leg against Zimbabwe in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. This follows the decision of the technical team to excuse 5 players from the squad ahead of the qualifiers. They include Ismail Abdul Ganiu, Tariq Fosu Henry, Joseph Alfred Duncan, Mubarak Wakasu, and Emmanuel Jesse. The team traveled to Cape Coast on Tuesday morning, where they will begin training in the evening for their first game on Saturday. Meanwhile, England-based right-back Andy Adam, who plays for Reading FC, is currently being assessed after picking up a knock on Saturday during a championship game after Cardiff City and got replaced in the 80th minute. Coach Milovan Rajevac and his men are seeking to get back their winning ways following the 1-0 loss to South Africa in the second Group G game. The Black Stars, who began the World Cup qualifying campaign with a 1-0 win over Ethiopia on March Day 1, sit second in the Group J with 3 points after 2 rounds of matches. Ghana is scheduled to play the Warriors of Zimbabwe in a double-header with the first leg set for the Cape Coast Stadium on Saturday, October 9, 2021. These are the remaining Ghana's 27-man squad. Goalkeepers: Lawrence Atizigi, Richard Atta, Ibrahim Donlad, Jojo Walcott. Defenders: Philemon Bafo, Andrew Yadom, Gideon Mensah, Baba Abdul Rahman, Daniel Amate, Joseph Adu, Jonathan Mensah, Alexander Jiku. Midfielders: Thomas Partey, Baba Idrisu, Emmanuel Lomote, Mohamed Kudus, Majid Amisheru, Kofi Tre, Abdul Fattah Isaku. Forwards: Andre Ayew, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Joel Fameye, Yao Yeboah, Samuel Owusu, Jordan Ayew, Caleb Ekuban, Benjamin Tete. The public is hereby informed that the Black Stars will train behind closed doors at the Cape Coast Stadium beginning from Tuesday, October 5, 2021. The senior national team is expected to begin training in the Central Region capital on Tuesday ahead of this month's FIFA World Cup qualifiers against the Warriors of Zimbabwe.
Elsewhere, former Black Stars Bofoakwa Tano and Asante Kotoko striker Mr. Dan Owusu has opined that he is disappointed in the treatment given to former players of the Black Stars of Ghana. According to the former Black Stars striker, old players of the Black Stars of Ghana are not cherished and are also not treated well by government.
Bofoakwa Tano, Asante Kotoko and Black Stars of Ghana player Dan Owusu has confirmed that he has regretted playing for the national team during his football career days. During an interview, the former Black Stars stated that he got injured and could not proceed with his career but got no support from the country he played for. The old players of our national team have been rejected by the Football Association. We were invited to join the Black Stars but haven't been given the best of treatment. William Cloche, the technical director of Inter Allies, was given to travel with the national team but was treated like a common supporter. They did nothing to show that he's a legend. We are always invited, but when we get there, we are not allowed to get close to the players. He added that he has regretted wearing the national team jersey to even play for the nation. I am very sad and I have regretted playing for the Black Stars of Ghana. I got injured through serving the national team and nothing has been done concerning this happening. Mr. Dan also stated that although they were given the amount of 17,000 Ghana cedis by the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, the state has refused to recognize their effort. We were given an amount of 17,000 Ghana cedis by the former president, but it was not enough for the former players. Something special should be done for the former players for their dedication and services to the country. He concluded that the nation is struggling to win trophies due to lack of respect and rejection meted to former players. Dan also won 3 times Golden Boot in the Ghana Premier League, and he also won the 1978 African Cup of Nations with the Black Stars of Ghana.
We'll give you some entertainment tidbits after this quick 10. Do stay.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Hello, welcome back. Let's do some entertainment news. The Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Musicians Association of Ghana, Musica, Ras Caleb Apia Levy, claims that much has not been done enough to build a strong and solid support system for Ghanaian musicians by Musica.
The regional chairman made such claims following the system failure of many demised musical legends after encountering several financial hardships. Emphasizing on the matter, he told an Accra-based FM, "We are very weak and that is why we cannot support our musicians. Musical is meant for welfare and advocacy. You don't have to wait for the death of a musician before talking about welfare. Seeking welfare has to do with ensuring that the work of the musicians goes on well and the royalties and copyrights are being protected." Instancing his point, he made reference to the late Nana Mpedu, stating how the musician has not been well honored despite the years of his life he spent to serve the country. Why should it be this way, especially for someone who has composed over 800 songs? He would never have tasted poverty if the system was right. The system is not working here. Let the system work in the music industry where the people will log in the royalties. He further noted that Musica has to fight for Ghanaian musicians if it wants to be recognized for what it stands for, whether they are members or not.
And that's how we wrap up on tonight's bulletin. Before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. Earlier today, lead opposition party National Democratic Congress (NDC) has added their voice to that of the family of the late social media activist Ibrahim Mohammed, best known as Kaka, that the Justice Kumsin's committee report is flawed. Again, we looked at what some section of Ghanaians are making of government's decision to purchase a new and big presidential jet. And according to the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, cyber attack has emerged as a global threat to financial stability. Finally, in sport, former Black Star player Daniel Luwusu has said he has regretted ever playing for the national team. You can find all these stories on Facebook, Adoatv Ghana, and the news was proudly brought to you by Verna Mineral Water, Blue City Ties and Accessories, Asatec Roofing Sheets and Cookware, CB Herbal, Yaxen Herbal, and Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center. It's October is a pink month. Let's get our breasts screened for us to get to know what is actually happening to us. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of our programs.